Who can save money on tax? Well, the US tax code is geared towards small business and has been geared towards small business for decades. The United States have been supporting entrepreneurship, which I think is awesome on a government level because this has been, for profit motives have made the difference between really socialism and or communism and capitalism. Just look at SpaceX versus a government developed rockets, right? It's clear that when there's profit involved, profit motive, then everything goes, everything happens and stuff. And I believe in that. So what is it that we mean when we say that most tax code is geared towards small business? Well, it means that there's a lot of different little things and code sections and stuff like that promote starting a business, growing a business, paying less tax so that you can reinvest in the business. So there's a lot of that. Code sections from A to Z. Code section 1202 is a great example of that. All kinds of different credits, employee retention credits, restaurant recovery fund that happened during COVID. And all these different things are there to promote business activity, because that also is GDP, gross domestic product, right? And I've already talked about what type of accountant is right for you and things like that. But think about it this way. You don't need a tax strategist if you have, one rental and maybe an investment account and a W-2 job. You don't. There's not much that can be done for you. Even my firm, we don't take on clients that don't have a small business because there's nothing we can do for you to save you money on tax. When there's a business, especially when there's real estate, there is a ton of opportunity to grow business, to reinvest the money, and make more with your money, which I love. But think about it this way. In this age of AI, in this age of artificial intelligence, human intelligence plays the utmost role. And here's what I mean by that. In this age of AI, there's a lot that is being done by robots and machines and computers. But what you need also is human interpretation, because law is not black and white, especially tax law is not black and white. There is some degree of gray. Actually, a lot of it is gray. And in order to take a position that can be defended, a human element is involved. So think about it this way. You need somebody who's a tax planner or strategist. You need someone like that if you have a business and or a portfolio of real estate investments. It's great because then you can strategize the overall portfolio, because remember, business is personal. People start businesses because they want to create more freedom for themselves and their families and all of that. And because business is personal, when I look at someone's situation, I consider that business, any other businesses, personal, how many kids you have, how many people you support, or whatever. All of this plays a role in the strategies that are available to you. There's probably close to 400 strategies. The problem is, not all of them apply to all people. So some don't apply to certain businesses, some apply or don't apply to certain people with certain circumstances, right? So it's all gray area. And then there's this human element in it. So when you think about what kind of accountant you need or you want to work with, it's much more than just accounting or tax. It's an advisor. And it's very important, in my opinion, very important that that person believes in what you're selling, believes in your business, believes in you, believes that you can make it. One of my first private firm clients, 13 years ago or so, he's still a client, was a guy. And when we met for lunch one point early on, I saw it in his eyes. I saw that it's not if he will be successful, it's when he will be successful. And he is successful. He's a phenomenal person. He grew as a leader. He grew as a business owner. He grew as many, many different things. And because of that, I know for a fact that when your advisor, like an accountant and tax advisor, believes in your product or service or your idea, it's extremely important. It's one of the reasons why we've started the startup lab where we provide free services to you um, if you qualify. So check it out on the website. But the idea is that you have to have someone who's also not only believing in you, but is not a know it all, is always learning, is a forever student. Because what you don't want is somebody who is so set in their ways that they don't accept anything new or any new signals that come from the industry or other industries to help you and support you to do better. There's a lot of talks about niching down. I don't believe in it. And the reason is that because when you niche down, you stop paying attention to other things. When you niche down, you stop looking for better ways to do things. You stop looking for change, and change is important. We live in the age of change. So I believe that, I worked for a door company, and it had a little shop, that would drill holes in the doors and things like that for locks and hinges. Having someone who's a forever student, so having someone who's not a know-it-all is important. It's important for any business, honestly, if it's whether it's an attorney or whatever, right? And it works this way. There's something called, and I talk about this in my book, there's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a graph that basically starts low, basically the confidence on the y-axis, the time and knowledge on the x-axis. And so it starts kind of low, and it's a sharp raise to the top, to the top of the graph, and then a sharp drop to the bottom, and then it kind of recovers but never reaches that first peak. The reason behind this Dunning-Kruger effect, and the reason I talk about this, is because there's so many professionals, whether it's IT, accounting, law, or whatever, who learning some of it, are overly confident, think that they know everything. You never want to have a professional who thinks that they know it all. They need to have core knowledge that they know about a certain topic, right? But you almost always want them to say, okay, it depends, and I need to look into it. Simply because there's always a new wrinkle, a new level to learn to support you better. What I don't like to do is I don't like to say, okay, I know this whole thing. When I look at a tax return, I look for things, even if I know that they're all correct or they've been there before. We've done it the same as last year. In accounting, we call this Sally, same as last year, Sally. And it's a danger zone because a lot of people think that the reason that we did it this way last year means we should do it the same way, or we should not question that it was not done right last year. Whenever I hear someone say, we always did it that way, my first question is why? Why did no one look at and consider that it could be done differently? Why? So when you look for someone, and when you work for someone, with someone, mind the relationship. It's a relationship that requires time and effort to be built. And it's a relationship that you want to make sure that that person on the other end is always looking for new things, is always looking for new opportunities, not to just save you money on tax, but to support you and your business and your decision making in a way that actually makes a lot of sense. So just consider it. Business is personal, and we work with humans, and there's a lot of opportunity to save money on tax, do better if you just think outside the box. And I hate that expression because it's, a lot of it's been overused, it's a cliche now, but thinking outside of the norm, outside of this is what we've always done, or this is how we've always done. I think that's the reason why accounting industry is suffering right now, and has been suffering because of lack of talent, because it has been managed a certain way for decades, and it doesn't want to change. People at the top don't want to change it. They think that there are other solutions to solving the people crisis in the accounting industry. But it's not just the accounting industry, it's other industries as well. So think about it this way. When you work with others, what you want them to do is you want them to be a forever student, to not be overly confident so that they can go and become confident in that topic for you with your best interest in mind, but someone who's also very proactive and forward looking and not afraid of change.